Hi, this is Courtney Harris, and I would like to talk to you today about music books for the trumpet player. There are tons of literature out there in the market, as you all know, for every and any instrument. Books, just like regular reading books, is a big market if you like to read. If you enjoy reading, then you're going to love this video. For the trumpet player, I'll start out with what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a number of books here, some books that I recommend for you to have as part of your library, give you titles, what have you, and tell you what I like about each of these books. And I may play a passage out of each of them, so we'll see what happens. But this first book here, Sigmund Herring, it's called 40 Progressive Etudes for Trumpet. It's a good book, not anything too hairy in it, too difficult, but it does pack a punch for what it's offering to be just 40 exercises. You have different meter, common time, 3/4 time. Doesn't get too difficult with that. Goes through various keys, and it's a good book. One of my favorite exercises out of it is number 19. It's a good book. You know, you can do a lot with this book. Next book is Vandercook Progressive Duets. Again, it's a book full of duets. It has an excess of 60 duets here. 4/4 time, 3/4 time, some 9/8 in here, 6/8, 2/4, various rhythms, some 12/8 in here. It's a really good book. If you have a friend or students, I would definitely recommend grabbing this book, because although the parts aren't too difficult, what you can do to challenge yourself is to increase tempos, and it gets to be very fun when you're playing duets with a friend or a student. So I would recommend this, even, you can't play duets by yourself, but it'd be a great book to have, because you never know if you're going to have the opportunity to play with someone. I usually keep this book in my case, and if different rehearsals, what have you, with other players, while we're waiting for rehearsal to start or what have you, we'll play a couple duets and just have some fun. Okay. The next book is The Advancing Trumpet Player. This book is by Sigmund Herring, as well as our first book, 40 Progressive Etudes. It has some duets in here. It's really a basic book. It goes through some various keys, gives you scales, and it goes through different exercises within that key to give you different looks, if you will, with the various keys that it presents. And on the back it has a fingering chart or chromatic scale with some terms. So it's pretty good. I would put this on if you got a few dollars laying around, you could pick that up, but not something I would consider a must-have. Our next book is Lorimer. It's 70 Little Studies. This is a good book. It's got some triple tonguing in it, staccatos, sixteenths, triplets, some syncopation. I use this book with my students for sight reading. It's a good little book. So for a teaching aid, I would recommend that you add that to your library. This is a total must-have. E.F. Goldman, exercises for double and triple tonguing. Yes, this is the book. If you really want to hone in and just key in on nothing but tonguing, this is a great compact book. As you know, yes, we all should be familiar with the Arben's book, which has everything you think you might want to play regarding trumpet in it. It's a good book to, I think, start you with, but these other books present you with different ideas and some different terminology, we're all trying to reach the same goal of becoming a better musician. So they share that in common. But I found that, you know, these other books tend to offer me a little bit more excitement than, you know, the arguments alone. Although it is a book that if you just study this exclusively, you could become a very well-rounded trumpet player. So this is definitely a must-have. That I would recommend that maybe after your beginning band book, that would be a book to go ahead and add because you'll have it for years. Again, triple tongue E.F. Goldman. This guy goes to the top. What else here? Yes, odd meter etudes. For the more advanced players, definitely want to grab a copy of this. We've got 5/4 in here, 7/8. What else do we have in here? We have mixed meter, 3/8, 2/8. It's a good book. It's a break of the norm. You know, we read so much 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, 6/8, 12/8. That we, you know, unless we're into some more advanced music, we really don't see odd meters. But it's a good tool to have in your bag as a musician. You know, I can pull that out and be able to sit in if I happen to see those type of mixed meters or uncommon meters in my music. Do you know this book? Yes, this is Colin, Advanced Lip Flexibilities, Dr. Charles Colin, complete, including volumes 1, 2, and 3. This book really separates the men from the boys. It's a cliche. In terms of your flexibility control, this book is awesome. I tell you, I should give you. It starts out with this. So it very slow. We're trying to get to the point where we can do some things. Well, we move on to here. Okay, all flexibility, learning to control our air and our tongue, you know, so we can get to. We want to get to that point where we can do shakes, okay? Flexibility, this is a definite must. See, our must-have is growing. We'll do definitely have must-haves here in the middle and recommended, and you could take it or leave it. For teaching aids, here. Okay. First division band method. I use this. This is part 3. This is part 4. I use these for my students' sight reading. You know, just to switch it up on them. I give them something out of here, and I may up the tempo, or I may slow the tempo back, just to keep them fresh, keep their minds thinking. Because I believe that you have to constantly read and be exposed to new music to continue to develop. It keeps you sharp, and it's good to have. For teaching aids, I definitely say it's a must-have. And we'll go 50-50. If you're not teaching, take it or leave it. I think I got those for like $1 or something. What else? First book of practical studies for cornet and trumpet. This was a gift when I first started out playing. Played through all of these guys. They're really good. It ends with chromatic exercise at the end. So again, this will be one that you can, you know, take or leave. What else we have here? We have solos. We'll talk about solos in another video. Herbert Clark. If you are been in the trumpet playing game for any amount of time, you know Clark is yes, must have. Claude Gordon is a definite. This is a systematic approach to daily practice. This is a good tool as well. Something you can spend a lot of time in Gordon. One of my trumpet students, when I mentioned the name, all right, let's do some Gordon. Get the chills because it's a good book. You either doing it or you're not. Bach, that's easy. box solos, great for sight reading. Again, sight reading tool. Claude Gordon, again, definitely a must-have pile. Say, what else do we have in here? We have more solos. Schlossberg. This is I never really got too heavy into Schlossberg, but it's a good book as well. You know, a lot of flexibility stuff in here. One thing's different in terms of flexibility. That is found on page number 6. It's exercise 23, and that little shake or trill at the top. One of my trumpet teachers hit me to that, and this is a good book. So yeah, I would say that you could I think it's worth having as a must-have in your collection. Charlie A. There's, in my opinion, there's just one song from here that everybody knows. You see this everywhere, auditions, you know, standard assigned music. Everybody knows that. And that's usually the typical assignment from trumpet teachers to their students. I've never been assigned anything else out of this book, to be honest with you. So, is it worth the buy for that? Number 5? I don't know. I would say, you know, you could. It would be good to have, but I wouldn't say it's a must-have. First Division again. This is part 2. I have 2, 3, and 4. I don't have 1. Go figure. What else do we have in here? More solos. And I'm sure you guys know this blue book. This is Rubank. I passed on the first until I got it. 1 and 2. Good books. All around good book. I mean, it's well put together. It has duets. It has stylistic things, articulation. It took a number from the Arben's book with some of the duets. This is one of the favorites of my students. This is page 26, number 11. Again, I have a lot of fun with my students on this. We take it extremely slow, and then we take it extremely fast, and everything in between, and it's real fun. Have some basic things up front, scales, minor scales, thirds, both in 16 notes and 8 notes. So it's a definite, I think, must-have. James Stamp. I did some studying on this. This was paramount in my early warming up routine developmental stages. Remember at one point I was doing this exclusively every day. It's a good book, definitely a must-have. Orchestral books, Christmas trios. This here, Julian Falk, atonal etudes. Yes. This is a good book here. Really helps to develop the ear. That's number 1. Man, it only goes more out, if you will, as the book goes. You know, it's not the traditional size. It's much larger than the standard book. It's really a good book. I think this was a gift from my high school trumpet teacher. It has on here, class of '97, telling my age. But this is a great book. I had to put tape on it to try to keep it together. So this is a definite must-have. Gospel Trumpet by Mel Bay. Good book for the solo trumpet player who may have an accompanist to play with. Has the Old Rugged Cross, Amazing Grace, The Holy City, to name a few. Flee as a bird to your mountain, his eyes on a sparrow, and others. This is a great book to have for your solo work. What else we have here? This here, Carnival, 11 solos for cornet and piano. This is the as recorded by Wynton Marsalis. This is a very good arrangement here, just as he does on the CD. It's everything there. Fantasy Brillante is one of my favorites. I feel like a motherless child. Till the Last Rose of Summer, Grand Russian Fantasy. This is a definite add to your collection. Oh, great scale book. This is Scales for Jazz Improvisation. If you check some of my other videos, I do have videos about basic improvisation, and I use Jamie Abersol's Volume 1, How to Play Jazz. This would be and although in his book he does list the scale, I think that's very good. I think this is a great book to add because it's nothing but scales. Ionian scales, and it lists the scales based upon their degree. So, the modes. So, Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Mixolydian, Locrian, etc. And then he has the melodic scales in here, Lydian, Locrian, Super Locrian, whole tone scales. So, this in combination with your improv work, you can build a great ad-lib library for the solos and different ideas and associated with that. Selected Studies. This is also a book by Rubank. I just picked this up because it's another book of etudes as I would consider them to be. It's a good book, just to read something different. So I would say if you have it, pick it up. If not, no harm, no foul. My St. Jacome has seen better days. This is similar to the Arbens book. It goes through a lot of stuff. I think the Arbens is put together better than the St. Jacome. So again, this is just another piece of literature that you can add to read through. It's a good book, don't get me wrong, but I think the Arbens is better. This has similar concepts, triple tonguing, multiple tonguing. It has duets in here. It has solos in the back, etudes in the back, duets, and it talks about trills and different ornamentations in the front. So again, if you want to splurge, buy yourself a birthday present. It's $24.95. I'm not sure what they're going for today. As you see, mine is kind of old here. November of '96. So, you want to add it to it. I think that's cool. So you see, as I start out by saying, there are lots of books that you can purchase. Masterworks for trumpet, solos here. What is this? Canadian brass. This is the Hummel play along. What else do we have here? Foundation for Superior Performance. This is a beginner's book. Another copy of the Rubank. This is the second book of practical study. So we have the first book here, which I said was good. The second book goes into more detail. The exercises do get more difficult. So, if you have book one and you've played through all, let's see, 64 of the exercises, I would definitely pick this up. This book picks up from where that book left off, and with 65, and it goes through 121. So you get a number of more exercises to go through. This book here, for those who need to practice their improvisation and their lead work, Gordon Goodwin's Big Fat Band Play Along Series Trumpet is just like the CD. It's a good book. I like that a lot. Praise and Worship, Hymn Solos, complete with CD, play along. If you have a church gig and you don't have a pianist, or you need to do a solo, for Easter or a special program, this would be a good book to pick up. It's by Hal Leonard. For the piccolo, Mel Broyles, Tower Calls. This is a good book. And look at this, The Method for Piccolo Trumpet by Gerald Webster. This is a good read. So I would definitely add that to the collection. And for your more advanced duets, this book here, Brubank Instrumental Collection, 12 concert duets. I played one of my students. The duet is about 8 or 9 pages. So we really got to work out. He definitely enjoyed it, and we worked it up. It's pretty good. So, you know, this is, by these duets and this book being so long, it's something that you can study over a course of maybe a month or so, you know, in addition to whatever other assignments you may have as a student. So that's going to wrap it up for our discussion on trumpet books to add to your library. Again, there's a whole wealth of information here, and a lot of it is similar. That, you know, the ultimate goal is to become a better musician. So, you know, the books by these different companies and different authors is just a different point of view, and one of these may click for you, and one of them may not. So it's good to experiment. I believe in experimenting when you're trying to learn. Continue to feed your brain, you know, try different things, continue to look. I want to encourage you to continue to look at different material. I love sight reading. I'll go up against the best of them in sight reading because I constantly read new music, even to this day. And I try to encourage my students to do that as well. If you have any questions about any of the books here, or if you have a book that you may be studying out of that you are having difficulty understanding the concepts that they are presenting, then please feel free to ask me any questions. I'll definitely respond to you as soon as possible. And I hope you enjoyed this presentation on trumpet method books, play-alongs, etc. Books for sight reading, teaching aids. I would definitely appreciate your subscription to my channel, and I hope you have a great day.